My name is Elias. I manage the funeral home my family has owned for as long as anyone still remembers our last name. It passed from my grandfather to my father, and then from my father to me. The way some families pass down orchards or restaurants or houses filled with noise and laughter. What we pass down is quieter. We pass down the care of bodies that no longer belong to anyone living. I was named after a saint, Saint Elias, the one who crossed fire without burning. My mother liked the meaning. Protection. Endurance. My father said it sounded solid, like a man who could be trusted with heavy things. I grew into it, I think. Names matter when you work around death. You feel them settle into you over time, like a coat you don't take off. I never questioned what I would do with my life. That surprises people when I tell them. They think it must have felt like a trap, like I was robbed a choice. But it didn't feel that way to me. It felt steady, certain. There was comfort in watching my father move through the building, knowing every sound and smell, knowing what was normal and what meant something was wrong. He carried grief without letting it hollow him out. I watched him stand with families while they broke apart, and somehow leave those rooms whole. Death was never a threat in our home. It wasn't a monster hiding under the bed. It was just there, a fact, a responsibility, something you treated with care and seriousness, the way you treat fire or water or a loaded tool. That doesn't mean the work is gentle. Funeral homes breathe on a different schedule than the rest of the world. Phones ring when the streets are empty. Deliveries come before dawn. There are nights when the building never fully sleeps, when the lights hum and the air feels thick with disinfectant and memory. Bleach gets into everything. Your skin, your hair, your dreams. I've hugged friends and seen them flinch before they realized what the smell was. Social lives don't survive long here. People stop inviting you places when you're always tired or unavailable. Dates get quiet when you explain what you do. Some people are curious. Some are uncomfortable. Some look at you like you're contagious. I don't blame them. I love the order of the work. I love that there are correct ways to do things, and that doing them right matters deeply. I love that families trust me when they're at their most fragile. I hate how the hours bleed together. I hate how some nights follow you home, even when you try to leave them behind. This building predates me, predates my father as a man. Each generation added something small, a hallway, a cooler, a system that worked better than the last. Nothing flashy, just what was needed. One day, it won't be mine anymore. That's how this goes. Before that happens, there are things you need to know. Rules that aren't written down anywhere official. Not because they're secret, but because paper doesn't survive what this place does. Stories do. Memory does. That's what I'm giving you now. And before we get to the rules, you need to understand the building. And you need to understand Brimstone. You'll notice him before anything else. He's always awake before me, waiting near the corridor or the front steps. Quiet during the day, watchful at night. Most people think he's just a large dog. Thick build, dark coat, intelligent eyes that seem to follow conversations. He leans when he sits, like he favors one side. He looks friendly. Mostly he is. But he has horns. They curve back along his skull, smooth and dark. When people notice them, I tell them it's a growth defect, some kind of rare condition. People don't know enough about dogs to question it for long. They nod, make a few awkward comments, and move on. I never give a breed. I just say he's a mix. That's not really a lie. Brimstone wasn't adopted. He was assigned. I don't know by who. I don't know how long his line has been watching places like this. My father never spoke about him. But when my father died and I came back for good, Brimstone was already here, waiting like he'd been expecting me. Hellhounds guard thresholds. Everyone knows that, even if they don't believe in it. Gates, crossings, places where something passes from one state into another. A funeral home counts. I don't know what Brimstone did before this. I just know what he does now. He opens doors. He stands watch beside the dead. He won't eat unless I do. He understands everything. I trust him more than anyone alive. This place wasn't always like this. At first, it was just a funeral home. Bodies came in. Bodies went out. Grief passed through and left. But grief leaves residue. Memory does too. And when you combine that with physical death, something builds. Pressure. Density. It's not haunted in the way movies make it look. No floating shapes. No rattling chains. But strange things happen here. The rules started as safety measures. Over time, they became survival. You don't need to tell me why you answer the job posting. Everyone has reasons. What matters is that you learn how to stay alive here, and how to keep everything else where it belongs. We don't keep a formal handbook. What we have are stories. Each one carries a rule. Each rule exists because someone once broke it. You need to remember all of them. The house doesn't forgive errors. So listen. Rule 1 is simple. Keep the lights on. Every room. Always. Hallways. Prep rooms. Storage. Bathrooms. Viewing suites. Coolers. Garage. Even the rooms we don't use anymore. Especially those. The main switches are at the front desk and the basement panel. There's a generator in the shed behind the building. It's wired only to the mortuary. If the power fails and it doesn't start automatically, you go outside and start it by hand. The instructions are inside the shed. Feel it weekly. Don't skip it. This isn't about comfort. It's about visibility. Your public job is to prepare bodies. Clean them. Dress them. Make them ready to be seen. What you're actually doing is anomaly detection. We call it stain. Stain isn't decay. It's spiritual residue. It shows up wrong. Burns without cause. Lesions that don't follow anatomy. Flesh that feels hollow under intact skin. Jaws that open too wide. Teeth that seem too long. Limbs that bend where they shouldn't. There's a reference binder in the office. Learn it. But understand this. Stain is what's left when a possession begins and then stops. Death interrupts it. That interruption is unstable. If you see stain, you log it in the black ledger. Paper only. No computers. That ledger is copied weekly and sent overseas. You don't ask where. Then you contain it. Minor cases get a cleansing. Supplies are in the drawer marked clear. Salt, oil, candle, script. 15 minutes if you do it right. Moderate cases, add the prayer. If you're unsure, do both. If the body moves, speaks, or changes while you're working, you stop and make the call. The number behind the desk goes somewhere old and very patient. Read exactly what you see. They'll decide what happens next. Now back to the lights. Low light hides things. Flickering hides worse. If a bulb dims, replace it. If the replacement dims too, move the body and relight the room. Do not continue work in unstable lighting. A body carrying stain can act as a conduit. If it leaves this building untreated, the process can finish itself in someone else. A grieving spouse, a child, anyone open enough. This building is the last checkpoint. That's why the lights stay on. If they go out and stay out, the building starts to change. I've seen it once. Half the prep wing is sealed because of it. We don't talk about that side. That's rule 1. Rule 2, follow protocol. When things go wrong, routine is the only thing that keeps you alive. If a body moves on its own, you begin full containment. Salt first. Coarse. A full handful into the mouth. Close the jaw and hold it. Then the eyes. Pack it in. Mouth and eyes are access points. Circle the body with salt. No gaps. This prevents spread. Check the hands. Look between the thumb and wrist. Punctures there mean escalation. Second stage. Second stage cases mimic. Sounds. Knocking. Crying. If you hear crying and no child is present, do not investigate. Return to the body. Lock it in containment. Each prep room has a reinforced unit. Key by the light switch. Seal it. Salt the door frame completely. Then you call the priest on the list. Say it's second stage. Stay until they arrive. When the ritual begins, you stay in the room. Presence matters. Isolation feeds things. When it's over, the air changes. You'll feel it. Help with restoration if needed. If the family asks questions, soften the truth. We care about souls more than appearances. When in doubt, salt, contain, call stay. Rule 3, Respect Brimstone. He is not a pet. He is not a mascot. Don't dress him. Don't give commands you weren't taught. He was sent here to protect the living from what we handle. Hellhounds do two things. They guide the dead, and they guard the living during contact with death. In this building, that makes him essential. He cares deeply about you not being possessed, sometimes more than you do. There are 3 stages: oppression, obsession, possession. Oppression wears people down. Sleeplessness, irritability, accidents. Demons choose stress, grief, guilt. That's us. Brimstone's presence disrupts that. Stay near him. If your thoughts darken, he'll notice before you do. Obsession changes behavior. Routines slip. Rules feel pointless. If you feel that way, find him. If he approaches you, there's time. If he doesn't, you're already in danger. Possession is when he acts without waiting. If he blocks a body, trust him. If he won't enter a room, don't force it. If he howls, go to him. He sees before we do. Rule 4 is the last one. Accept death. Everyone who commits fully to this work dies on their 50th birthday. No exceptions. It's the agreement. It prevents us from becoming something else. Long exposure to stain changes people. Without the end, we wouldn't stay human. At 50 you go. Peacefully. Cleanly. Yourself. My parents did. Same age. Same certainty. They never feared it. My mother brewed coffee on her last morning. Hugged me. Sat on the porch with Brimstone. That's where she passed. My father followed months later. My stone is already carved. It waits in storage. I'm telling you this because you deserve the choice. You can leave. Forget this. Live messy and free. Or you can stay. Learn the rules. Do the work. Protect people who will never know what you saved them from. Tomorrow night, I'll ask you what you've decided. For now, we have work. Because the body in 4C just shifted, and Brimstone is already at the door.